macOS Tahoe 26.4 just came out yesterday night. I installed it on my Mac this morning and I used it throughout today. I installed it on this M2 13-inch MacBook Air. The update was around 16.5 gigabytes in size, but it seems to only download around 6.5 gigabytes before I started to prepare the update. In short, I just spent the whole day as a normal user. I think that makes me the perfect lab rat to test this sort of updates. If you want a straight verdict, yes, you should consider updating to 26.4 beta 1. For instance, in battery settings, we now have the new section for charging. Yeah, just like on the iPhone 15 lineup and above, we now have the function called charge limits. Exactly, and it works. Yeah, it might be compatible with only Apple Silicon Macs. I can't say for sure yet. Yeah, but I'll let you know within the week after some extra research. Yeah, I am a hardcore fan of Audacity. If you guys know from some of my Mac app recommendation videos from before. Yeah, so like I was kind of curious to see how this update would affect Audacity, as like their major mojo, or what makes the app so special, is the ability to limit charging. And then Apple just slapped it straight into even the older Macs, such as this M2 Air. Yeah, it's not even exclusive to like the M4s or maybe the M5s. So I'm quite curious, and it's kind of sad. Yeah, even if Audacity has some other functionality, the update Apple just gave us here is going to definitely hurt their business one way or another, for sure. Apple said that they fixed an issue with window resizing, where previously, even on the stable release of 26.3, the window resize pointer does not follow the window's corner shape for some reason. Yeah, many productivity and power users had issues with this because like it's began to obstruct their workflow. For me, I tried it seems to be working okay. Yeah, I haven't seen any reason to say that no, app was just lied about that. There is something also crazy I saw after I just updated. I know initially from WWDC last year, Apple promised the end or the impending end of Rosetta support. That means apps made for Intel Mac platform MacBooks would not be supported on macOS 26 on Apple Silicon. And for some reason, I got a warning or a kind of reminder about the imminent end of support for some of the Intel-based apps I run currently that use Rosetta on my MacBook. That's like the first pop-up I even saw by the notification area as soon as the update was completed. If you use a virtual machine, for instance, macOS Tahoe booted virtually on any kind of platform, Apple claims to have fixed a problem where macOS Tahoe itself, virtually installed on some hardware configurations, might just boot to a black screen for no reason. Now, there are some known issues Apple highlighted in the release notes which you definitely want to hear. There's like an issue with some configurations of M1 chip Apple Silicon where when installing an external disk, they might panic when you try to boot them. Panic is like that constant restarting with an error code in analytics when you check it. Yeah, so the only workaround for that is stated also beside the known issue. Another issue is with HFS media failing to mount automatically. Yeah, the fix is also, or a workaround is also available. With internet accounts in settings, Exchange syncing for calendar, reminder, and notes might fail. There's also a workaround for that. There's another bug in macOS recovery. Yeah, when you delete a volume from the activation lock window in macOS recovery, yeah, the full erase functionality might not work. And the only workaround for that currently is to boot into the target volume. Yeah, that's the OS itself. And then go to settings and use the functionality called erase all content and settings. I am not a fan of release notes, but if you are even considering trying out 26.4 beta 1, you definitely need to check the link in my description for that. I'll go through them in case there is any specific thing you use which this update would affect. For instance, none of these things affect me, so I'm good to go. Throughout my day today using macOS 26.4 beta 1, performance feels better than 26.3 because it's already as good as 26.3, but then when you couple it with that window resize fix, it's even better. Even the animations while trying to resize and drag the window around feels very smooth, as you can see in this Telegram window. The thermals in an air-conditioned office where I was doing my work today were between 41 degrees and 45 degrees Celsius. Yeah, nothing special, nothing serious. And don't forget, it's a fanless Mac. Yeah, so everything is quite alright. Also, we have to consider the fact that it's definitely still indexing all the files since I just updated today. Basically, I left home with around 98% of battery charge level, yeah, around 9 a.m. and I came back with 62% around 5 p.m. So you can see how many hours that is. I wasn't using the Mac all through, but I used it well enough. So 36% of energy usage gave us around 5.2 hours of screen on time, thereabouts. I also used a VPN and Wi-Fi throughout. As a professional, I would only advise you to use the beta 3 or beta 4 or RC, whichever comes next, or this 26.4. Yeah, I can't really tell you to just jump into 26.4 beta 1. Yeah, that's kind of reckless for me to tell you to do. But as a tech enthusiast, I like the fact that they have fixed, or they claim to have fixed, the window resize problem. Also, I like the fact that I'm also able to test the battery charge limit stuff. Yeah, it's nice. You could upgrade just to see how it is. That's if you don't use your Mac for anything serious. Yeah, the last thing you want is like a bug that prevents you from being able to do your work. Again, just make sure you read the release notes before installing to make sure that none of those known issues actually is going to affect your workflow. Anyways, I'll get back to you guys if there is any change or any new stuff that I noticed, or any changes in battery or performance or whatever. Yeah, subscribe and I'll see you guys.